With so many newcomers to the TCG scene, it's becoming harder and harder to get your hands on decently priced products, especially for new releases. I was only able to secure one product for Prismatic Evolutions that didn't cost me an arm and a leg. However, I found out that both resellers and shops are deploying scummy tactics to make the most money during an expansion release. What are 3 common scummy tactics and potentially scams that happen during pre-ordering, and what can you do to get the product in your hands? When Prismatic Evolution was first announced, pre-orders opened on the official Pokemon website, at a few medium-sized retailers, and at online shops. The prices were at MSRP and slots were pretty much gone in a day. This was when everyone realized, oh no, it's one of these expansions, huh? As it's a special set, it means it won't get a full booster box, but instead there are themed products spread throughout the year. More pre-orders opened up from smaller shops over the course of the next few weeks. This time things were selling out within minutes, but things were still priced close to MSRP. Now this is where things start to go downhill. Pre-orders are not guaranteed, meaning even if you paid for it upfront, the shop can cancel at any time before the item is shipped. But if you want to cancel the pre-order, some shops won't let you, or you'll have to pay a restocking fee. Sometimes shops will even set up pre-orders before knowing the final allocation, thinking, okay, last time a release happened, I got like 5 cases, so let's set up pre-orders for 5 cases again, and we'll put it at MSRP. The community is now finding out that these allocations were significantly smaller than in the past. Less stock means the shop now needs to charge a higher price to make the same amount of money. What better way to do that than to cancel existing pre-orders and then relist them at a higher or even at double the previous amount? Even if a shop does have allocations and is getting product at a low price, why wouldn't they set the price higher when people are clearly still willing to buy it at that higher price? The shop can also cancel pre-orders so they can open up the product themselves to sell highly sought after cards. It can make them way more money than the sealed product could. Why sell an ETB for $50 when you can get the chance to sell multiple cards worth $100 each? Sometimes this doesn't happen until close to the release date. This is when the Pokemon Company starts teasing all the upcoming cards in the release and the general community hype builds up. At this point, if you didn't secure product from several places, you may be out of luck during launch release. These are ways a shop is basically telling their customers that they aren't worth building a long-time relationship with. I get the struggles of owning a small business. Margins are already small, and making this move may make or break your foreseeable cash flow. But as a consumer, it still sucks because I trusted you with my money and time spent on securing that slot. I'll probably avoid doing pre-orders with you, share my frustrations with others, or even shop elsewhere altogether. Over on the Japanese side, Terastal Festival was just about to release. You can say it's the equivalent JP set to Prismatic, so for people who couldn't get their hands on a Prismatic product, they're keeping their eyes on Terastal. There's some interesting tactics that resellers are using to make you buy from them. On eBay, you were able to see multiple listings to pre-order specific cards from the set, like the SAR Umbreon. While Terastal boxes guarantee 1 SAR per box, it's still randomized from a pool of cards. There's no guarantee that you can get the one you want, even if opening multiple cases. That's just how probability works. These sellers are basically pricing these listings at an estimate on how much it would cost them to pull that card first. And then if they aren't successful, they just simply claim the item was damaged and couldn't sell it, or that it was the wrong item and they'll cancel the order. If they do end up pulling, then you'll get the card, but it could be much more expensive than if you waited until more copies of the card are in circulation once it launches. And then you have the pre-order resellers, the ones who buy dozens of stock from the official store or locally at a lower price, and then flip them online for an additional $50 each. As of writing this script, I checked that the Pokemon Center version of Prismatic Evolution's ETB is around $200. That's a whole $150 in markup for a product that still hasn't even released. Remember how I said some shops canceled pre-orders to mark up their prices? Well, for these resellers, if their pre-ordered goods got canceled, then they have to scramble looking for new stock elsewhere at a lower price than they listed for, otherwise they are all screwed. We're all screwed. The sad thing is that none of these tactics are even new, especially if you've been around hobby communities in the past. The PS5 and Nintendo Switch scalping got so bad, particularly because of how little stock was available on release day. Eventually, as the companies produced more stock, it became easier for everyone to buy at a normal price, leaving the mountains of PS5s just sitting at scalpers' homes. There's also a decent-sized part of the community that's just regular people. People who play competitively, people who just collect, or people who gift these to their loved ones simply because they say Pokemon on it. If you're collecting specific cards, you may be able to get a reprint version in the future. For sealed products though, sometimes you're just out of luck and pray it gets restocked in a couple of months. Either way, name and shame those bad applins so that others can avoid them. Name and shame! If you liked watching this video, check out this one about pre-ordering directly from the Japanese Pokemon website, or this one that's recommended for you.